we are the ministry of the real truth. And today we came across this very interesting man, an Israeli, long deceased, with the unusual name of Yeshayahu Maori, who was a professor of Bible at the University of Haifa, Israel. We found him interesting as his first name is obviously Israeli Jewish, but his last is Maori. No macron was shown, so maybe they have a different pronunciation to the name Maori, his last name Maori. The Maori, ancient Maori, were the indigenous native peoples who discovered and then settled on New Zealand, or Aotearoa, named New Zealandia by Dutch navigator explorer Abel Tasman, who it's been said just charted it on a map, or put it on a map and sailed on by. This would be incorrect, as we've done the research, if he tried to land on the islands of Three Kings to get wood to repair his damaged ship. Apparently one of them was too rocky, so he couldn't land and hop on that particular island, so he went around the corner somewhere and hopped on that one, got the wood and sailed on, probably to Tasmania, where he charted that, put that on the map, etc., and other bits and pieces or areas of Australia. We tried to find more information about Yeshayahu Maori, but found some completely in Hebrew, no English, non-English, so that wasn't of use to us, as you don't speak or write Hebrew. Other information about how he was involved in this and that, etc., and we finally came across his obituary, tribute, and also the following. And there's his name here, Yeshayahu Maori, translated by Moshe Goshen-Gottstein. Again, he was a professor of Bible at the University of Haifa. It may be hard to understand, as is from an Israeli Jewish mindset perspective, and then translated from their language into English perspective, but we'll strive to get our heads around it, because we don't speak Hebrew, we don't write it, etc. So an indigenous New Zealand Maori resident may comment us and say, oh wow, his name is Maori. That means Maori are of the original ancient Hebrew Israelite tribe, liberated from Egypt as slaves, oppressed, etc. Or to put it as it really would make them, they are descendants of these original peoples or tribe. As is often being claimed. Yes, maybe, no, maybe not. But we have come across many stories of people, Maori people, native New Zealanders, who have either been told by their parents that they, of the Irihia or Arawa tribe, are descendants of ancient Assyrians who possibly or supposedly fled their homeland and somehow sailed and got to New Zealand and merged with the indigenous peoples there, the Maori. They forgot their culture, religion, etc., and adopted basically all of those they met, befriended and married and had children with. Again, these people were told by their parents that they are the Irihia or Arawa tribe, who are descendants of ancient Assyrians who fled their homeland and somehow sailed and got to New Zealand or Aotearoa and merged with the indigenous peoples, forgot their culture over time, religion, etc., and adopted all of those, the religion, the culture, etc., of those they met, befriended and married and had children with. And also stories of Maori being descendants of the original ancient Israelites liberated from Egypt and slavery by God, etc. So let's have a look at the information we've discovered on Yeshayahu Maori as translated by Moshe or Moses J. Bernstein. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Yeshayahu Maori, the Peshitta version of the Pentateuch and early Jewish exegesis, Jerusalem, Magnus Press, 1995, 403, paragraph. Let me see, paragraph 403, Hebrew. There's a little bit of information here, but we couldn't access it because we had to do it through our local library and all that sort of stuff, and nothing really came of it. So here's some writing from that particular book. Yeshayahu Maori, the Peshitta version of the Pentateuch and early Jewish exegesis, Jerusalem, 1995. Okay, so Yeshayahu Maori's important monograph treats the subject of the influence of Jewish exegesis on the Peshitta Pentateuch with a that's 5 books, right? So it would be like the Torah, the book of the law, instruction from, say, Genesis to Deuteronomy, Leviticus, right? With a rare degree of expertise. It is a revision of his doctoral dissertation written under the direction of Professor Moshe Goshen-Gottstein at the Haifa University of Jerusalem. The study would be of interest to students of the history of exegesis, of the ancient versions of the Hebrew Bible and of Midrash, and to lexicographers of Hebrew and Syriac, while the fact that it is written in Hebrew may deter many potential readers. Yeah, that's what we were saying before. Maybe something hard to get our head around because we don't know Hebrew. We don't know how to write it or read it. And also it could be a problem to those who can read it to a certain level, right? Beginners, whatever. Yeah. So the excellent indices can readily direct readers whose Hebrew knowledge is limited to discussions of texts which interest them. The volume contains an English title page and a table of contents in addition to Hebrew ones. Maori's study differs from previous research on the subject in scope and methodology. With regard to scope, Maori cities and Maori sites, and discusses all relevant cases rather than an ad hoc selection of examples. With regard to methodology, he formulated criteria by which to evaluate agreements between the Peshitta, hereafter P, and the Jewish exegetical sources. Simple agreements between P and the Jewish sources are not enough to claim influence, whether direct or indirect. For this study, Maori excluded the Targums and the LWX, or the Septuagint, from his Jewish exegetical sources, since a comparison of P with any one of them could compromise a monograph in itself. He does, however, reference them wherever relevant. Further, in chapter 11, he offers an extensive introduction to the problems involved in such comparisons. While Maori's dissertation research preceded the publication of the late and critical addition of P to Genesis, Deuteronomy, he used the Mosul edition for his research, checking against manuscript 7A1, the primary witness of the Leiden edition. His citations are according to Amos 7A1. For this revision, he verified his citations against the Leiden edition and checked the variants for possible influence, especially those found in Amos 5B1 to Genesis and Exodus. Before establishing criteria by which to judge the influence of rabbinic exegesis on P, Maori demonstrates that P offers non-literal renderings not dependent on rabbinic thought. So they were separate, not dependent on it. Reasons for deviating from the MT include the requirements of the target language Syriac, the influence of parallel passages, and the variant Hebrew text. With regard to harmonizations, Maori believes that they may have been introduced by the translator. So they probably weren't part of the original, but he introduced these things to them, probably to give them better understanding of something, whatever his reason was. And it ends here because we had to be part of, we had to use our local library or something to be able to read this. Okay, so here's the obituary of this guy, and they saddened, just like a tribute to him. Okay, passing on Professor Yeshayahu Maori. Okay, here's some more here. Okay, here's some more here. Revel's symposium, new perspectives on Parshanut, ha-Miqra, and it's some sort of debate on a subject in the Bernard Graduate School in January 28, 2014. Welcomed this Professor Yeshayahu Yeshayahu Maori of Haifa University and Professor Amos, etc., etc. And his expertise was in ancient and medieval Jewish Bible exegesis with a focus on Rashi, where the many ancient Rabbi writers, these Jews hold dearly, right? They speak a lot about him, all that sort of stuff, his writings. Okay, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki 1040 to 1105, and Abraham Ibn Ezra, that's probably when they were alive and died, delivered a lecture titled How did Rashi balance Peshitta and Darash? Rabbi Abraham Bakrat's answer, etc., etc. To contextualize Maori's lecture, Cohen's introduction raised a question that has troubled scholars for centuries. How much of Rashi's commentary is really Peshitta? To emphasize this question, Cohen cited Ibn Ezra's statement that only 1 in 1,000 of Rashi's comments on the Bible are Peshitta, whatever that means. Though most scholars see this as an exaggeration, there has been many attempts over the centuries to try to answer this question and gain a deeper understanding of Rashi's valuation of Peshitta. As Maori noted, the 20th century Bible scholar Nehama Leibowitz insisted that Rashi was a Parshanut and not a Darshan, whatever that means. Hebrews, Israelites will understand that, or Israelis will understand that, or Jews, who utilised Midrashim to resolve difficulties in the Peshitta of the text. Maori contrasted Leibowitz's approach with that of Bakrat and Sefer Zikaron, a super commentary on Rashi, penned in 1516. As Maori noted, Bakrat maintains that Rashi cited Midrashim because he valued Midrashic interpretations in their own right, not because of perceived difficulty in the Peshitta. In other words, Rashi cited Midrashic interpretations because he believed that both the Midrash and Peshitta understandings are words of the living God. And so Rashi was aware of the Peshitta, but also invoked Midrashic interpretations that offer religiously meaningful insights. Maori also highlighted the opinion of Bakrat that when Rashi writes, "I've come to give only the Peshitta of the verse," he actually means to say that in this particular instance he will limit himself to Peshitta, but not that this is a categorical principle. And there's more there. This article was written by this particular person.